It was cold outside and it was cold inside. Huddle up.
You don't want none! You don't want none!
What's going on, Tar Heel Nation? It is your favorite North Carolinian, Ross the Tar Heel, and in this huddle, man, unfortunately, we got to talk about the 67-66 loss that North Carolina suffered at the hands of the Wake Forest Deacons, man. Last night out there in Winston-Salem, bro, and not only was there inclement weather in North Carolina, but there was inclement weather inside the stinking Deacons home court, bro, because Carolina shot 8 for 32 from the three-point line, only good for 25%, and Carolina missed a lot of open looks in that game. Now, Carolina started off hot, man. Starting at the beginning of the game, they started off pretty well. I think at one point they had almost a double-digit lead, 16-7 or something like that, for an extended amount of time. And once again, Carolina cannot put their foot on the stinking neck and just take off with this thing. And Wake Forest is able to get back into the game. They keep it a 1-possession, 2-possession, 3-possession game. And then it just seems like the opposing team is the team that gets stronger as the game goes on. And North Carolina falters down the stretch, bro. Very, very frustrating basketball game because I really feel like we got two good games from Elliot Cadeau and RJ Davis, man. If you go to the box score, RJ finishes with 21 points. Obviously, he knocked down that last second three to make it a 1-point game. But he played 38 minutes, 8 for 16 from the floor. That's 50%. 3 from 9 from 3, 33%. I mean, it's respectable at least. And he was 2 for 2 from the free throw line. And he finishes with 21 points. Elliot Cadeau had a monster game. Might have had his best daggum game as a Tar Heel, man. If you kind of put, the totality of everything together, he finishes with 14 points, 5 for 10 from the field, so he shoots 50%. 2 for 4 from 3, 50%. He was 2 for 3 from the free throw line, but the big number here is that he finished with 13 assists to only 3 turnovers, man. That is better than a 4-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, and you will take that all stinking day and twice on Sunday, man. 14 and 13 from Elliot Cadeau. That means he was responsible for 40 points at least of Carolina's 66. And ECU was unstoppable for times of the game, man. He really did take over, especially in that beginning stretch where Carolina was able to extend the lead a little bit, but just not enough to just completely take the air out of Winston-Salem. And it's frustrating because when you get that kind of game from Elliot Cadeau and you get a 20-point game from RJ Davis, I think one could safely assume, in the real world, right? Not in this alternate reality that us Tar Heels are faced with living in right now, you're going to take that all stinking day and you're going to say, yeah, there's a pretty daggum good chance that we win that basketball game. But we didn't. And Ian Jackson had back-to-back, not games up to his standard, if you will. Ian finished 3 of 11 from the field, 1 for 7 from 3, and he finished with only 7 points. So that's back-to-back games that Ian Jackson has been under double figures, man. And I think it's hurt us. I really don't know what's going on that front because his shots look good. It's not like he's just completely throwing it up there. I mean, they're just coming off the back iron, just a little bit long on a couple of them. They're not bad out of his hands, but he's just not connecting. And, when Hubert Davis was asked, was Carolina taking, maybe too many perimeter shots, which a lot of us thought that they were, Hubert Davis kind of countered with no, because, we were getting some pretty open and clean looks. And I understand that, but at the same time, when you're not knocking down perimeter shots, whether you're open or not, sometimes, man, you got to get to the rack. And way too often, Carolina was settling for shots that they just weren't making. I mean, when you're only shooting 25% as a team, you know, or if you come down the floor back-to-back times and you're hoisting up 3 balls because you're open, just because you're open doesn't necessarily mean that it's, 1, the best shot for you, and 2, that it's the best shot for the team given the daggum circumstances of the game, you know, at that time. And, you know, no better example than this than, you know, Jay Witt coming down and banging a wide open 3. And then the very next possession, he comes down the floor and, you know, this guy giving him about 3 feet, and he pulls up from almost the same area, you know, and it goes off the rim. Wasted possession. And Carolina just has way too many wasted daggum possessions, man, and it's killing them. You know what's killing them? They get a lead, and then they just spend the next stinking 4 minutes, it seems like, with wasted possessions, man. So both teams going over to the team stats, 40% from the field. Like I said, Carolina shot 25%. Wake Forest only shot 13.3%. And then you see down here that Carolina was out-rebounded by 8. 8, you know, -8 on the boards is just so un-Carolina-istic, you know, if that's even the proper way to say it. I can't believe that I'm looking at that. A Wake Forest team just dominating the Heels on the glass. They had 10 offensive rebounds, you know, and, you know, those are just opportunities. Once again, you play decent defense, and then you're giving that team opportunities to once again score on you. And, you know, down the stretch, Carolina struggled on the glass greatly. And, you know, I can't for the life of me understand why this team is so bad at 2 things. Boxing out, which they are horrific at. Absolutely horrific. And setting screens. It's a really bad screen setting team, dude. It really is. And, you know, you would think that these are all things that could be worked on in practice, and I'm sure that they are. I don't know what the disconnect is, man. I really don't know what the disconnect is, and it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating to see, you know, really bad high ball screens, and it's really frustrating to see, you know, just time and time again, HD, you know, just frustrated on the sidelines because guys are watching the ball off the rim as opposed to finding bodies, man. It's super stinking frustrating. And it is what it is. This is who Carolina is, man. This is who Carolina is as a basketball team. You know, we're 20 games in, guys. It's not going to change. And, you know, after this BC game, we're about to go through a very tough stretch. A very tough stretch. The only other thing that I think is just, you know, blaring from the stats to me is the free throw disparity, if you will, man. Carolina was 6 for 10 from the free throw line. Wake Forest was 21 for 27. And Cameron Hildreth, you know, most of his points, it seems like, were from the charity stripe. He was playing Bob Cousy basketball and really backing down our smaller guards and just shooting over the top of them. It's what Hunter Salas did at the end of the game, too. And, you know, Carolina's just kind of getting picked on a little bit as far as the guards are concerned with the lack of size. So there's the pros. You know, nobody can stay in front of EC because he's a smaller, quicker guard. And then on the flip side of that, people are trying to get him down low so that they can shoot over the top of him, little 5 to 10 footers. And it's just the, you know, it's the trade-off, if you will. It's the trade-off, man. And, you know, we were talking about in the live stream, you know, how Carolina needs to get back to the 2 big lineup. You know, with, it's okay to have a 6-foot point guard, but you can't be 6 foot across your 1, 2, 3, 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3". You know, we just got to find some bigger bodies, man, so that we're just not being taken advantage of down low by our guards. You know, and so, like I said, it is what it is, though. It is what it is in 2024 and 2025. I mean, this is the basketball team, and it's looking, let's just say that the postseason, the future of Carolina's ability to reach the postseason, not the NIT, is looking more and more bleak as the days go by. I mean, to this point, man, we're looking at having to 100% make a deep run, like win a couple of these games coming up and make a deep run in the ACC tournament, man, to somehow get into the NCAA tournament, because we just don't have the resume right now. And losing some of these games right here that Carolina, it's North Carolina, bro, should win. And I still think we have the personnel to win. It's detrimental, man. It's absolutely detrimental. And we are literally watching, this season circle the drain, if you know what I mean. So this was a frustrating loss, man. The Stanford loss was really bad, obviously, because it was at home. And a lot of people try to downplay it. But when you couple it with, that loss and this loss, each one of these losses gets exponentially worse. And we're not used to seeing this, guys. 12-8, 5-3 in the conference. And we got Boston College on deck, man. So Boston College better be a stinking win. It's got to be a stinking win, because if we lose at BC at home, there are some serious conversations that need to be had. It's not like there aren't serious conversations that need to be had right now. The blame is everywhere. The blame is everywhere. You got to start looking at HD. You got to start looking at HD, because he is the head of this thing. I do understand that the team just didn't shoot well. If they're knocking down threes, we're not having this conversation. If they're knocking down open shots, we're not having this conversation. If they put their foot on the neck, we're not having this conversation. It's not like HD wasn't adamant, like he wasn't, super frustrated with some things that he was seeing over there on the sideline. I mean, he's attempting to coach, man, but at the same time, the question starts to have to be asked, like, why are we not seeing these guys box out if you're getting on their butts? Why are we not seeing these guys set better high ball screens for Elliot Cadeau and RJ Davis off the curl? Why are we not seeing the improvement? Is it because for some reason you're not reaching the athletes? I don't know, man. I really don't know. But I know that seat is growing super hot. And I'm sure that the powers that be are not going to put up with this too much longer, man, because one of the worst things that a Tar Heel or that any college basketball blue blood fan, could feel like is that Indiana Hoosier type thing, to where you're starting to feel like there's no hope. Like when you're starting to feel like, there's nobody to save you. Talking about what coaches would we look at if HD was gone. I'm not sold on the Wes Miller thing at all. I'm not sold on anybody within the family right now at all. There's just a lot of serious conversations that need to be had, man. So I'm really interested to think, to hear what you have to say, Tar Heel Nation. I want you to put it down in the comment section, man. Is it the coaching staff? Is it HD? Is it his staff? Is it the players? Is it a lack of effort? Is it a lack of focus? Or can we just simply chalk this up to, we don't have an Armando Bacot type big. And ultimately, who does that fall? Does that fall on the lack of money to get one of these guys? Or does it fall on HD for not recruiting him? Like, where is the blame? Or is the blame just going around to everybody? I don't know. But, this has been hard to watch, dude. And we are in the danger zone right now. The door is just cracked like this. It's this thick and wide right now as far as Carolina's opportunity to make this season out of anything. And it is closing fast if we don't change this quickly. So, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. Put down in the comment section what you think about this basketball game and the trajectory of the season. And I want to know, man, what are the changes you want to see? But regardless, it's a great day to be a Tar Heel. And we'll see you on the next one, baby. Go Heels.